Hello, and welcome back to...
Compose myself.
Compose yourself, mate.
Hello, and welcome back to Three Guys Talk Film, the podcast where three guys get together, talk about films, record it, try and edit it, and then lose the audio.
Not that that's happened twice.
And repeat.
Yeah. Oh, what a fun time the last 2 weeks have been, lads.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But it's okay, because we're back with the one that really matters. To me.
Yeah, to you.
To you, and literally no one else. Yeah. But just to you.
We're here.
We're all here.
We're here because we support you, mate.
Yeah, no, so this is going to be me rambling for the next...
I mean, it's also going to be George trying to kill me for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. So
then I inevitably die, and then it's you two left for the remaining 40.
Yeah,
and we just get the boss.
And
it's just you again.
Then it's just me.
Then it's just you being like, right, Marvel.
Yeah. Then it's just me talking about Endgame for the rest of my life.
And I'm out the window.
Yeah. So basically, we're doing our top 10 MCU films.
Yes.
We've all done our top 10 lists. They've all been sent to me, and I've made the overall list that I'm going to go through
ultimate MCU
at the end.
List.
The ultimate one that you can't argue about.
Even though that's what we're going to go now.
But in theory, it should be more organised than the Star Wars one.
Which was chaos.
Which was just chaos.
But you should give it a listen if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
true.
Of course.
Yeah. Because let's face it.
Because it was funny.
And you haven't had any other of our podcasts listened to for the last 2 months, so you need
something. We need those sweet views.
Yeah, please. More if you're listening, please subscribe. So, who's going to kick this thing off then?
Okay, number 10, I've got Thor, and you can argue with me on it.
That's
and
fair.
I'll accept the argument and take it off the list. It's just there to fill space.
Well, yeah, to be
He
fair,
has a bit of good bands.
Okay.
Mine is very much in a similar vein of like Captain Marvel. Didn't love it, didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It's just there because I couldn't think of anything else that should be higher.
Yeah, it's solid enough.
Yeah, it's an alright film.
Did the job.
Brie Larson was like mildly annoying.
Yeah, I like Brie.
Yeah.
I like Jude Law.
Jude Law was good in it. Jude Law I've got time
and
for.
Ben Mendelsohn, big fan.
Yeah, he was the real standout, I think.
Who was her mate, her like pilot mate?
Oh.
Whatever her name was. She was good as well. I liked her.
yeah,
She was quite
good.
cool. And the kid, the whole
kid
that
was,
element was.
Kid was cute.
The kid was cute. But yeah, like, you know, I think we're going to have a very similar kind of thing for the first, like, bottom three. It's just like, like
whatever.
films that weren't that. I mean, going through this list, we said this earlier, like, it's just made you realise how many rubbish Marvel films there
Bang
are.
average, I'd say, yeah.
Like,
bang average.
Bang average, 3 stars. Like, Black Panther's at 14, and it should be lower.
Yeah. Ant-Man's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah, Iron Man 3.
These are not honourable mentions.
These are dishonourable mentions.
Yeah.
Tell me the other end of the spectrum where there's like 3 that I don't like and all the rest I'm picking from films that I do like.
Yeah, you've had a tougher
Yeah.
challenge. So what's your 10th?
My 10's Thor Ragnarok.
Nice.
Okay, I've got that at number 8.
That's
Yeah,
pretty low, yeah.
purely because I know that a lot of other people like it. I have a lot of problems with it for how comedic it tried to take it. And like the Ragnarok story should have been more serious than that, but I still... Yeah, I have a lot of problems with it, but it is comfortably the best Thor film.
I'm going to have to put this down. The temptation's just there.
So, yeah, number 10, Ragnarok.
Okay.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Fantastic.
for me, John just stole mine. Shall I make it all about me? I'm going to do it. Number 9, yeah, Captain Marvel. You've already covered it.
Fair.
Move on.
Move on.
Doctor Strange.
It's
Number
good.
9.
It's good. I think it's been that long since I've watched it now that I kind of...
I remember
I forgot how much I
leaving not
enjoyed
hating it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did. I like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
Rachel
that
McAdams
would have been my number 11.
underused, which
Yeah,
is still a
definitely.
shame. She's not coming back for the second one either.
And
That's sad.
Chitwell Ejiofor, or however you say his name.
Yeah, he will be back, I believe.
He will be back,
And
but
it'll
that
be good to see him.
weird...
He took a real turn.
It, like, last 5 minutes they were like, we need to make the English guy a bad guy.
Yeah, and we need to settle for Doctor Strange 2, which is happening in 10 years. Yeah, it was weird because he was like the nicest, most pure guy. One bad thing happens, you know, he loses his entire belief system, and suddenly he's a bad guy. Like, yeah, get real.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
Doctor Strange would have been my number 11 if we'd have gone down that far.
Yeah, fair.
I think it looks way more unique than it actually is.
Mm. Yeah, like, the bones of it, it's just a Marvel film again.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Same plot points, same
but
beats.
it's got that weird Inception looking thing.
Yeah, which I quite
The
like.
visuals were nice.
The visuals were sick.
nice,
To be honest, the visuals for me are what pushed it above everything else.
I think the
Yeah,
same.
that's
and
fair.
Tilda Swinton was really good.
Yeah, she was quite cool. I liked her.
Tilda Swinton.
My number 9 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
And we move on to number 8.
Right, I need to get some feelings out about this film
Yeah.
Okay.
and how terrible it is.
It's terrible.
It's a bad film.
For me,
It's
it was
a
20th So
It's not much
yeah, to be
lower.
honest, I'd probably
about
put it.
that.
I'd put it
It's
below
essentially the first one with a better villain.
And that is
It's not,
exactly
is it?
my problem.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it a bad film. No,
it does, right, it does.
The reason it's
No,
so
it
far
does.
down is because it's not the most inspired thing in the world. It's just more time with these characters. That
No,
I
it's
like.
not more time
not, no,
because
it
they're
is.
hard reset to how they were in the beginning of the first film. It's like the first film never happened. They have the same arguments that you've already seen,
Yeah.
and then they all, through the power of friendship, get through to the end. It's annoying.
Families
Yeah.
are complicated, Chris. Do you not watch Fast and Furious?
Star-Lord was really annoying in that one.
He
I
was.
felt.
Right.
Kurt Russell was the best thing. And
Yeah.
He was barely used.
I didn't really like him as Ego,
Well, there you go. Exactly.
but I like Ego quite a lot from the comics, and they didn't do him
As the comics did it.
But what was
he's nowhere
that
near as
thing?
cool.
A
in
third
this.
of like the screen time was on those golden people. Why?
Because they're coming in the next one. That's why.
Yeah, why
that's
though?
purely setting up Adam Warlock, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
literally what it
that's
is.
dumb. You
Yeah.
shouldn't do that.
Well,
Or if you're going to do it subtly.
Yeah, don't waste that much time. And as well, there's a way of doing team up films, right? Star Trek does it quite well in the fact that in the first one, Spock and Kirk hate each other, and so do quite a lot of the crew. And then by the third one, they're all like valiantly trying to save each other, and there's not really much argument. The conflict comes from the conflict they're having with the people they're trying to murder, and that's how you should do it. Don't hard reset just because you're lazy, and a format of it bugs me so much. I hate this film. Oh, I honestly do.
I really don't like it. But it's there.
It's your choice.
We respect it.
That's disappointing to hear.
We respect
Mad respect, but it's a
I'm
terrible
pretty sure
film.
we've told you that.
Yeah,
you-
we have.
yeah,
We've discussed this before at length, and I still am ready to discuss it at length because I haven't got enough feelings out about it. Number 8, Thor Ragnarok. We've
Fair.
discussed, but for me, it's funny, it's cool. It was slightly different,
Quote marks.
not necessarily in a good way, but at least they tried something new.
The Thor character needed it.
The Thor character needed it. I liked how they chopped his hair off and all that kind of stuff, and it was a bit more like, okay, we're actually going to reinvent Thor because Thor to this point was boring. They kind of brought him more in line with how he was in Avengers, which I quite liked. Quite liked the fact that the Incredible Hulk was in it, although I didn't like what they then went on to do with him in Endgame, but hey ho. And I quite liked Jeff Goldblum to a degree.
I love Jeff Goldblum.
I thought he was quite good in that.
I thought it was really funny.
The only bad point was the villain was forgettable. When you consider it's all about Ragnarok, and that's the biggest thing in Norse mythology and also in its own comics and everything that it's bringing back and all that kind of stuff, it was very boring. I was like, don't really care.
Yeah, that was the issue for me. It wasn't as weighty as it should have been.
No, it should. And Korg was funny. I like Korg.
Oh, Korg was the best thing to come out of it.
Yeah.
Korg.
Just give me a Korg and Meek standalone
Oh,
film.
I need that. I need that
in my
film.
life.
My name is Korg. This is Mick. Oh, it's amazing.
Taika Waititi.
What about you, Nathan? Number 7, number 8, number 8.
Number 8, Iron Man.
Okay.
Iron Man
Okay,
Juan.
fair enough. Where it all began.
Where it all began.
Would-
2008.
Yep.
Yeah.
A
Nice.
way,
Yeah,
way
nice.
long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it still stands up quite well. I think
It does,
Yeah.
and that's the reason it's higher on my list.
Yeah.
Talk about a crap villain though.
Oh yeah, but
What
that,
a waste
yeah.
of Jeff Bridges.
But that film was all about just setting up, just starting with Iron Man and the whole MCU. So
Yeah, but if you judge it as a film in itself, it's all right.
I think
I think
it's impossible to judge these films as a film by themselves because if you consider them as we've discovered as a film by themselves, there's a lot of trash films in there,
Which is why I'm ranking them.
which is why we're ranking them. But still, I don't know. I just
Yeah, I'm not against it.
you break it
It
apart.
is a classic.
it is
And it's
definitely
Robert
classic.
Downey Jr. just straight.
Robert
in,
Downey Jr. is
straight
best.
in. Yeah, he clearly just sets its own.
I think it's like
And I love Jon Favreau.
I love Jon Favreau. I think all the films after it kind of it made that formula feel more and more dated, whereas at the time it didn't feel that way.
Yeah,
I
which
don't
is
think.
why it's a lot higher on my list.
Yeah, I think Iron Man's always struggled with its villains.
Yeah, because they're basically just people getting into Iron Man suits.
Yeah, basically.
Other than the Mandarin, which
They
Which was
butchered.
great. I love that.
was divisive. I very nearly put Iron Man 3 on here instead of Iron Man 1.
It was my favourite Iron Man,
I think
just because it's the most fun.
I think Iron Man 3 is a better film, but Iron Man is, like I say, it's one
It's
that
the
started it all.
OG.
It's the OG,
As the kids would say.
as the kids would say, but not us, because we're not like that.
No,
No.
I don't think many kids would say that Captain America: The First Avenger should be 8th on the list, but it is for me.
I don't think anyone would say that other than you.
I mean-
Helen O'Hara from the
Right.
Empire
Oh, sorry, there's one other person, and he's sat here.
Yeah,
before us.
exactly.
This,
and
this,
his is higher.
this is what I'm up against.
Mine's 7th.
This is
No,
what.
but let me justify.
Well, you two may
I've
as well do it at
said
the same
to you-
time because his is 7th.
Yeah, mine's
I've
7th. We'll
said
bridge this.
It's not a good film, but with the small budget, there's a lot to enjoy. You know, I really like Hayley Atwell. She's
Oh,
great.
Hayley
Agent Carter's
Atwell.
just amazing. That romance is easily the best one in the
It's the most
entire MCU.
believable.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
And it's nice that they kind of they had a little spark going before he became a super soldier. That's
Yep.
cute.
That was really nice.
Red Skull, pretty bad. You know,
Yeah.
and that didn't make any sense. But you got little Toby Jones in there making his mark.
Yeah.
He's great.
I mean,
And for me, it just had like quite a nice fun feel to it.
Bucky before I hated him.
Bucky as well. Bucky was a lad.
It did what it needed to do. That film was designed purely to get him into the ice so he could team up in the Avengers. That's the only reason that film even exists.
And,
Yes.
and they did it on a tiny budget. I think the smallest budget in the MCU.
But also, if you
Yeah.
think about literally that film is just designed to get Captain America in the ice, you shouldn't care about it. But I have more feeling for that film than I do any of the other Captain America films, and we will get onto this.
We will.
But I don't know. I really like it. I think it's a
fun.
really good film. I actually quite because it's just a bit of fun. And the stakes aren't that. Because the stakes are believable because it's World War II, so like it's something that you could process and you know, and that's my problem with a lot of superhero films. It's always the end of the world, and like you can't really imagine that like 8 billion people dying. Yeah, like my head can't get around that. Whereas in like, I mean, I know I've talked about this off the podcast separately, but like Dark Knight, 200 people are gonna die, and that's it.
That's it. Who cares?
Yeah.
But like you
I
do
get
care
what you
because
mean,
like
yeah.
you can
It's
imagine
more intimate.
that.
It's more intimate.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, Captain America rode that did tread that line quite nicely because like while it was like technically still end of the world stakes, it was set in a historical period we all know and recognise very much was end of the world, and so you can wrap your head around it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like you say, Hayley Atwell's dope.
Keeping on the kind of fun thing, my number 7 is Age of Ultron. Again, not a great film.
It's not.
It offers
terrible.
it offers nothing to the franchise.
Apart
What?
from Ultron talking like that.
Yeah, James Spader was really good, but it's just fun. Again, it's a fun film. It's it's of no consequence. But seeing these guys back together, kind of 3 years after the first one,
I think it was 3.
a lot more playful.
3 or 4.
Yeah, it was 2015.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I don't
It was a
like
missed
the giant
opportunity.
pothole in it.
No, don't. Yeah, well, I'm not discussing the plot because it's just crap. But it introduces good characters. Vision's good.
Oh.
Scarlet Witch, I love both of those.
Quicksilver someone actually dying permanently in the
Someone actually dies,
MCU.
and he's not back yet. You never know. He'll
You
probably
know
be
he
in
won't.
WandaVision
Well,
or something. But
yeah, to be fair, because of
Oh,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
Fox thing. Yeah,
Could-
because the whole reason he died was because the X-Men using Quicksilver.
Oh my god, he could be in WandaVision.
he could.
I never thought about that before.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Depends
be
if
in
he wants to
WandaVision.
be in it.
It's silly if he is.
Surely not. Surely they're going to bring him back.
Nah, they will. They're
Well, if
boring.
she's setting up her ideal life, surely he'll be in it.
Maybe a
It'd be
cameo.
a bit
not-
harsh if she's like, nah, I don't
Nah,
care about
nah.
him no more.
It'll be a cameo. Surely he can't be back as like a fully fledged.
No, yeah.
No, we're not saying
I'm
like
saying
Oh, right, okay,
she's going to
yeah,
create
yeah.
a simulation and surely
Yeah, yeah.
with him in it. Yeah.
That was really good, by the way.
What's your number? Whatever.
Seven.
one?
Mambo
Seven.
number
7.
7.
Mine's Spider-Man: Homecoming,
Okay.
which I know George hates.
I don't hate. It's
Yeah.
just overrated.
I think it's similar to what you just said about why you like First Avenger so much. Like it's small scale. It was seeing a character that we've seen a lot, but kind of a newish kind of spin on it. I think Tom Holland is the best live action Spider-Man
Yes,
as far as I'm concerned.
because the best Spider-Man is obviously Nick from New Girl
Yeah,
in
we've
Spider-Verse.
discussed this many a time.
We have. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, it was nice to finally see that character kind of done the justice that he deserves. The villain was really good.
Yeah, the villain was actually quite good
He was
in
good.
Homecoming.
You
Yeah.
get Michael Keaton, you're going to have a decent
Oh
job,
yeah,
aren't you?
yeah.
Oh, the bit when he goes into the car for prom and he like doesn't realise it's going to be
Yeah,
Vulture,
that was
and then
a
he just
big-
sees him.
yeah.
Like,
That
no.
was a good review.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's such a good
yeah.
little routine.
Yeah,
oh, so good.
I did not see that coming either.
No, I didn't.
No.
Beat for beat, that film is actually
You
quite
didn't see that coming.
good. What?
Quicksilver.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'm just
That
I'm
accent,
just-
that
I'm
accent
just
was
in
as
awe.
good as his. His
Yeah.
was poor.
You can't follow
He
it up
seems a
with
nice
an
guy.
equally poor accent.
I
just to
thought it
make
was
okay.
kick ass.
But yeah,
Anyway,
Number 6.
Number 6.
number 6 is Shall I?
I feel like mine's going to be the least popular because mine's the first Avengers.
Oh, that can.
Okay.
Avengers Assemble, as it was known here.
I disagree.
Yeah, I know yours is like top.
It is first.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no spoilers. But yeah, for me it was good. I think it was amazing for its time, but the kind of dynamics and stuff I personally don't get on with as well because you know I like everyone to get along. But it was really interesting at the time. But I think now it's been 8 years. You kind of look back and watching it again, seeing them all kind of figuring it out and stuff is tiresome. And Captain America, whenever he's under Joss Whedon, is just the worst. Like Captain America in the first Avengers is absolute trash. He does nothing. He organises a few people on the ground in New York. He's given nothing else to do.
Yeah, because Joss Whedon doesn't really know how to use his powers.
No,
to be fair.
Which is fair, but then you look in you know other films, and he's the leader.
Oh, well, you also had the Shield combo lightning smash. That was quite cool. That's where that first came.
Yeah.
That was pretty rad. I mean, that little sequence. I will get onto this when I do my rant about it being number one. But that little sequence in New York where they're like all their powers are like kind of coming together. I thought
That was beautifully done.
Yeah, that
was really cool.
It was
that
a
was
marvel.
Hey.
that moment you talk about, that was the one where it all kind of came together, wasn't it? Yeah.
That big like pan round and it's like.
Yeah, Ian Boyd's incredible, and that's why it's 6.
Yeah, fair. My number 6 is Avengers: Infinity War.
So is mine.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Look
low.
at us having some consensus.
Oh my god,
for once.
we actually agree on something.
I'm
Yeah,
disappointed.
Avengers: Infinity War.
In order.
Yeah.
Because it's not right. So my issue with Infinity War is Marvel's marketing themselves rather than the film.
Bit harsh.
So,
Bit harsh.
as we all know, Doctor Strange 2 is coming. We've known this for 5 years. We knew that Spider-Man 2 was coming. We knew there was another one.
Black Panther.
Yes, Black Panther 2 had been announced. And watching those characters melt on screen, it had no impact as a result because you're like, well, they're going to get out of it somehow. What I would have really wanted was them not to announce it was a two-parter. Just said, this is the last Avengers film we're doing, and then everyone die. And then you're just like, that's it. And there's no Marvel marketing for the next, 2 months, something like that. And you're actually left being like, oh my god, that's it.
And I'm sure that's what, if it was up to Kevin Feige.
Yeah, they would have done, but because
Disney.
Disney obviously wanted to write the money in and everything. But then if 2 months later you just had the Avengers will return on a black screen just typed on, that's it. That would have been so good. Just imagine that, that would have burst the internet apart.
And Infinity War did still do that.
Infinity War did still do that,
Snap meme was a big one.
It was, but I don't know. I think it would have resonated a lot more if you genuinely thought that was the end.
Yeah.
But for me, I didn't, so I watched it being like, I don't care.
But you can do that in every single superhero film whenever they're in any threat. Now you say Quicksilver's died. That's it.
Yeah, Marvel are very much guilty of that.
Yeah.
But this was their opportunity to utilize that almost kind of meme about themselves, and then prove it wrong, only to then foil themselves again, which would have been quite. I just think it was definitely a missed opportunity, and there was some bits in it were a bit slow and a bit.
So what you talk about with the ending, that's the reason it's so far down on mine, because as you can probably imagine, I've made this sort of list a lot, and most of the time this tends to be second or third. But when I was making it this time, for that same reason, I think now that we know that Endgame happens, and like you say, as much as it was a shock that it ended that way, there was still that thing. It was like, well, I can't wait to see the next one and see how they get out of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. Oh my god, I can't believe they're all dead.
Yeah.
It was how are they going to get out of it.
And it was it was always it was just looking at it in hindsight. It was just convenient how it was all the new characters are gone, but all the original Avengers, they're still here. So yeah, that's the reason it's so far down on mine. But I think up until that point, it is pretty much not perfect, but it's on
a
the money.
solidly good film. Yeah, it's one of the ones that actually is tight and knows what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
Whereas films for me like Civil War, which I've put 12.
You leave Civil War alone.
But for me, that film again, it was about stakes. It was about actually having consequence, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, obviously, is it Iron Man dies in the comics?
No,
Captain America dies, doesn't it, in the comics? And I wanted Iron Man to die in that film. In that bit where he's got the shields just battering into his face, I just wanted him to die. Because that would have been a really good. I know, obviously we had Tony Stark's death later, but that would have been a really good way for him to die and actually have some kind of consequence and resolution. Whereas at the end of the film, it was kind of but we're all friends. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but
it didn't really do a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Civil War later anyway. But the one thing that I adore Civil War. The one thing I hate about it, well, the two things, is that Rhodey should have died.
Yeah.
100%.
100% should have done.
And that scene at the end where Cap sends Tony Stark the phone, It kind of it undercuts the entire film. So it's like, yeah, well, first massive fallout, the Avengers are broken up, but if you need me, ring me.
Yeah.
You know, so
But then he didn't.
But then he didn't. Yeah.
He didn't.
So, should I do my number 5 since it's the Avengers and we've already spoke about
Go
it?
on, Mambo.
Is it the Avengers and you've already spoke about
It
it?
is the Avengers and I've already spoke about it.
Okay, that's nice then. So we move on. Thor Ragnarok.
Fair.
For me. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to defend it. I ain't got the energy.
What?
Move on. I don't
mean,
care
it's-
about it that much.
It's a solid number 5, but for me,
At what point do you start caring about these films?
about 4
I'm
onwards.
still waiting.
Oh,
I think
God.
it's when Chris talks about Captain America.
Yeah, that's when you get like jazzed up.
Yeah, no, I did. I really liked Thor Ragnarok because it had proper Taika Waititi comedy in, which was nice. Instead of just the usual, family friendly Marvel humour that was tiresome by that point.
Yeah.
It refreshed it. It gave you some proper comedy. I agree. The story is crap, especially the final third.
Oh yeah, the final
you
third's pacing is rubbish.
Yeah, the big fight at the end. I like the battle on the Rainbow Bridge when you got Led Zeppelin coming in.
Yeah, always appreciate Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, that is
Look,
amazing.
Carl Urban is so wasted in that film.
He is.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's in The Boys now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you utilise Carl Urban. Number 5, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
We've talked about
I
that.
respect
have.
you. I respect you.
We have, but the reason I want to kind of get onto the reason why I think it's a little bit higher is it's partially retroactive, like thanks to obviously Spider-Man 3 onwards being terrible, and finally giving us a good Spider-Man film. But also we kind of spoke about it a little bit privately. The fact that you've got like a nice montage of him doing the New York stuff, I thought that was just quite nice. And like he is actually age appropriate at the role rather than just Tobey Maguire pretending to be a teenager at 30. So yeah, I just really enjoyed that film, but we have talked about it, so let's move on to number 4. I've got Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Have you got that as number 4 as well?
No, but I'm happy that someone else has it in at least the top 5.
So I've got it in there not because it's a good film, because it's not. I've got it in there because of the spectacle of it. So, in terms of the time travel, it's rubbish because it goes against its own time travel laws, which is like a big no-no for me in film writing in general. But the first third, where it's quite dark and quite sad, and I really like that. And I really like the final third. If I could just truncate the middle bit, it would be a much better film. But obviously they didn't. They decided to go for a needless 3 hours. And I don't know. I just you've got to put it in its top 5 because of like what it did. It's a big spectacle, and like it got everyone together. It gave us a farewell for Tony Stark. Gave us a farewell for Captain America. Hawkeye's gone. Scarlett Johansson. Black Widow is dead. Like set up the new Avengers. All of that kind of stuff. What it did and brought together and actually managed to make a coherent story with so many main characters, and arguably had a better feel because it was slightly fewer characters than in Infinity War, and then pulled them all back for the end, and that big fight scene at the end. It was just a good feeling, and it was proper fan service, which I know is the reason that George doesn't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not even just that. It was just another step up in the kind of cosmic CGI mess of action, and I can't get on with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
And that's and I agree that it's a bloated story. It doesn't need to be.
No, it doesn't need to be 3 hours.
I will weigh in on Endgame later.
Fair.
Probably.
Some
What's
might
your-
say in 2.
Some
Maybe
might
not.
some might say that. What are we on now?
4.
4. Okay. Yeah, my 4's Captain America: Winter Soldier.
So, no.
Yeah.
That's the wrong way around.
Fair.
Captain America wise.
Well, I'm sorry. Purely because, like, objectively, I think Winter Soldier is the best film in the MCU. Mainly because if you take away the fact that it's a Captain America film, like if you took him out of it, it'd still be a great action film. And I think it's the only Marvel film that does that. Like the action is genuinely entertaining. Like the lift scene, like that's one of my favourite scenes in the whole series. The plot's a little bit boring for me, and the reason it's behind Civil War is just because for what I want out of these films, which is just more characters that I like interacting with each other, it hasn't got that as much. Like Civil War felt more like an event, whereas Winter Soldier's more of just a very well-made standalone film. So that's why it's number 4, but I still really, really like it.
See, mine's Captain America Civil War. Then.
Nice.
Fair. Nice.
I rewatched it again last year. Yeah. And
That was year for people that have hit puberty.
Yeah. And it was really good. It was like, for me, it did nail all the emotional stuff. Also, as a political thriller in itself, it was great.
Yeah, it has to raise some like ethical questions that you never think about
Yeah.
like them being uncontrolled and stuff.
And they should have gone down that further, but they didn't.
I've
Should,
said
like,
this.
It's a PG-13. They're not gonna...
No, not in that film. They should have carried on with that.
Oh right, yeah, I'm with you.
And yeah, I've said this before, but for me, it was Robert Downey Jr.'s best performance still. I know he's really good in Endgame, but in this, the emotion that he actually instills into it, because for this to work, for the size that they took, I think a lot of people thought, obviously, Tony Stark would be the one to rebel, when it's actually Captain America.
Yeah, that was
And
a
for
nice
that
way
to work,
around.
Robert Downey Jr. really had to sell his emotional angle, because it's one interaction that triggers him to, support the Accords, and he just sells it perfectly. And then that final kind of third, and when you find out that it was Bucky that killed his dad, the way his parents, the way he sells that, just that look, he just turns to him. He's like, he killed my mum. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that was pure emotion.
Yeah, I've got to agree where that's concerned.
Yeah. And the airport
action's-
scene.
Yeah,
The airport
exactly.
scene.
The actions and the final fight. The final fight itself is really good.
Yeah,
Between
it
the
is,
three of them.
Like you say,
yeah.
when you just got Captain America, you think, is he finally crossed the line? And then
Yeah.
he just shuts him down instead of lopping his head off.
Yeah,
Just like I think that was really quite a beautiful fight indeed.
I agree. Are we on number 3?
We are.
Because
The
my
bronze medal,
number 3 is Civil War as well.
boy.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, pretty much for everything that you just said. Like when you're that invested, which I mean, what year was Civil War?
2016, I believe.
2016. So like we were quite a long way into it. By
Yeah,
then.
no, we
Like,
were
yeah.
literally just before Infinity War. Weren't we?
Yeah. So like when you're that invested in those characters, seeing them essentially turn on each other and fight out like that, like I was just so invested. And like I say, like I genuinely didn't know what was going to happen. Like was Cap going to die? Was Iron Man going to die? I know like they bottled it.
Mhm.
I admit they bottled it. But yeah, it was the first time that I felt like there was real stakes in the MCU.
Yeah.
And that's for me why it's a bit lower because they bottled it. Like if they hadn't, it would be like up there as probably the best one.
I feel like Civil War felt like more of a big deal in the films after it than it did in Civil War.
Mm.
Like at the end of Civil War, it sounded like they were kind of like kind of okay with each other. Like obviously the relationship had fractured, but it sounded like Cap is still kind of like open the door for him. But then in Infinity War, it was like, no, I'm not talking to him.
Yeah.
So
I've gone with Iron Man,
nice.
the first one, because whilst we're looking back on it, you can say it's not a good film and all this kind of bump. At the time, there was nothing like it, and then it's set it. And now when you watch it back, it is tired, it's laboursome. We've seen all the jokes before, but if you watch it in context, which I think is the most important thing to do, it is just a solidly really good film, and it's what sold the MCU. Arguably before Avengers did, it was what allowed Avengers to happen. It's just a really good film. Like you don't get bored in it, which I find happens quite a lot with particularly the second act in a lot of Marvel films. You do just kind of like, come on, can we get to the big fight at the end, please? And you didn't have that with that because the cave stuff's really good. When he's inventing his first suit's really good, and then he just like straight up reveals his Iron Man as soon as he gets home. Like all that kind of stuff. It's really really fun, and it's just good. And Robert Downey Jr. is perfect for it. Let's be honest.
Best post-credit scene as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's just all good. I don't really, apart from the villain obviously being a bit pants, I don't really have a problem with it. But I have that problem with all Marvel films. The villain's a bit pants, so like, I can't really hold that against it. So yeah, I just really enjoy it. I think it's really good.
Mine's Infinity War,
Number
the
2.
Thanos show.
Number 2. Number 3. No,
3.
3.
The Daddy Thanos show.
Daddy Thanos show.
I mean, to be fair, Josh Brolin literally saves the MCU there.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yes, because it was on the back foot before, wasn't it?
Yeah,
No, I think-
he's barely making a
Yes,
penny.
Not in terms of money,
It was
but-
gonna go back. Kevin Feige was hanging on by a knife's edge.
Not in terms of money, but in terms of like enjoyment. For
Yeah,
me.
and also in terms of raising the stakes as well.
Yeah, like Josh Brolin introduced a lot for being Thanos and actually being the only decent villain, really, apart from Vulture, maybe.
Loki.
I don't really count him as a proper villain. Like not the big bad at the end. Like he is, he is a villain. But he's not a big bad, is he? He's the only really not. He's actually good. I actually kind of support him more than the
Well,
Avengers at times.
You heard it here first. Chris supports genocide.
I don't support genocide, but you know what I mean? I can understand it.
It's impressive as well because obviously like, we were building Thanos for 10 years and he didn't let you down.
No.
Which is like ridiculous.
It could have been so easy for him to be a letdown, and he wasn't.
I feel genuinely sorry for whoever the next big Marvel villain is.
Yeah.
Like, because
unless it's Josh Brolin again.
It's just Josh Brolin as Galactus.
Yeah, Josh Brolin. I could get behind Josh Brolin as Galactus.
Could just be Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin as Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
He'd take quite a few of them out. You've seen his legs.
To be fair, the man is a tank.
He is huge.
But anyway, back to Infinity War. Yeah, for me, like you said earlier, it's a proper polished film. Like, I keep watching it, and the timing of everything is just perfect. And as an actual bit of filmmaking, it is genius. The way that it strings together 3 or 4 different subplots, gives them all the perfect amount of time, gives all these big characters and egos the perfect amount of screen time, and ties them all together in like one of the best kind of final big battle scenes. It was amazing. And again, yeah, it was the first time really that it was that scale. It was a ridiculous scale.
It did do that annoying thing though, where Chris Hemsworth's in the sun thing mining the new Mjolnir, and they're like, "You'll die if you do that," and then he does it, and then surprise, surprise, he doesn't die. It did do that annoying
The
thing.
handle.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's just films though, isn't it?
Yeah, but don't set consequences and then not live up to them. It's really annoying.
He's a god. He can do what he wants.
Yeah. Oh, get in the bin is what
clearly
he can do.
Peter Dinklage had never met a god before.
Apparently not. Number 2, I actually agree with you, George, for the first time in this list. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is that your number 2 as well?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, the best intro of anything.
And as soon as that title screen hits you,
That title card is actually...
Yeah. For me, still one of my favourite moments in the MCU, just that entire first sequence.
Yeah. Chris Pratt in that film is incredible.
Yeah.
He absolutely nails, especially when you consider in the comics that Star-Lord's a bit of a, rapist.
You said it.
He is! Like, there's no getting away from it. Like, he actually manages to make what were, let's be honest, proper, like, D-real Marvel heroes.
Oh, yeah, they were not the household names.
No.
Not even slightly. Like, I'd heard of the Guardians, but I didn't... Like, I think I'd seen what Star-Lord looked like, which is nothing like what he looks like in this. And I'd seen Groot, and that was all I knew about them.
And now you can't not say the phrase "I am Groot" to somebody, and like they won't know what it means. They're just like, yeah, I know what that is. It's just a really good film. The comedy is funny and different, which is what we said about Thor Ragnarok, and is important. But also like the team up aspect of it, like getting them all together, and it all felt quite organic, and they all actually interacted quite nicely.
Yeah.
And the villain's not too bad. Is it right?
Yeah, I liked him.
Pretty alright. Ronan's pretty alright.
Ronan, I quite like
Ronan the
Ronan.
Accuser. So yeah, like for me,
I feel like if you're a comic book fan, maybe he's,
maybe
underserved.
Things like,
he does get beaten in a dance off,
He does. And the Infinity,
love that.
the introduction of the Infinity Stone in that film's quite cool as well.
Yeah.
It's just in Groot's like sort of death was really sad.
It was. Again,
the self-sacrifice element was quite nice.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Nathan?
No, I was gonna say like because Guardians is my number 1, which is not surprising.
No.
I think that for me this is the case of like a lot of the things that you're picking apart about the other films. I feel about Guardians, but it's just that fun that I just do not care like one bit. Like the villain, like he's not a good villain. I don't think
he's all right. Like that when I give him praise, it's because everybody else is terrible.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's that imposing. I think Thanos leaves more of a mark in that film than Ronan does. But like just the relationships between the characters is what drives it, and that like
Gamora's also Gamora and what's the
Nebula.
Nebula, thank you.
Yeah.
Their whole relationship's really cool as well.
So, but like it's believable though, because like they are all really different, but they actually have a genuine reason to come together, not just plot.
Yeah.
Which you get a lot.
Yeah, it's just a really fun, good film. It's good fun. Like a solidly good. It's Star Wars on steroids, and that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
And yours is?
Your number 2.
My number 2 was Endgame.
Fair.
Anything else you want to add?
No, just I know you don't like it 'cause it's fan service, but that's. I just dropped my phone.
It's not the fact that it's fan service. It's more the other stuff.
Yeah.
The fan service was, I don't know. It was impressive in its own way, and it definitely earned the payoff.
Yeah.
It wasn't Justice League.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it just didn't hit for me. I can't. You know,
Yeah,
that might be on me.
Yeah, so because I wasn't going into it wanting anything else than like other than just a big sort of victory lap.
Big mosh back.
Yeah, and that the last third of it is literally that. It's just every character we've seen coming together, and like some of the shots in that film are ridiculous. Like Spider-Man holding the Infinity Gauntlet, like clinging onto Thor's hammer. It's just yeah. But yeah, so for a Marvel nerd, that was
everything you needed.
Everything I ever needed, but not as much as Guardians.
So and we've got exactly 4 minutes to wrap this up, so we'll quickly get through our number ones. My number one is Avengers Assemble, purely because of what it's set up, and the fact that it's a really tight, on it plot. There's not that much like lagging. Everybody's got the right amount of screen time. It's the same thing that you're saying about Infinity War. Like everybody's got the right amount of screen time. Everybody feels fun. It's good. It's fresh. All that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really enjoy Assemble, and I would go on about it more, but we have only got a couple of minutes left of this room. So
and I need to go through the definitive top 10 list.
You do. You do.
My top one is Captain America: Winter Soldier. Yeah. Who cares?
And I
we
disagree massively.
We all care.
Yeah, of course you do.
No, we do. You got like 1 minute. Go.
Well, for me, it is, like you said, an action film, first and foremost, but it's also a political thriller. Like you say, you don't need to be a Marvel fan to enjoy it. I think that's what really got me. And the relationship between all the characters is brilliant. I love the Winter Soldier and Captain America. I love Steve Rogers and Natasha Romanoff. Like, they never replicated that again.
No.
And those two really just lead the film. It's all about them, you know, on this kind of... It's kind of like Jason Bourne kind of stuff, you know what I mean? On the run.
Yeah, off the grid.
Off the grid,
yeah.
and it's just brilliant. And some of the scenes in it are amazing, like when the Winter Soldier is fighting Cap.
His soundtrack as well. His like little like oh my god,
nailed it. Yeah. So you'll never convince me that it's not the best MCU film, and I don't see another one taking its place.
Fair.
So the definitive top 10. We had a couple of draws, and when that happened, I went based on Metacritic score. So. Number 10 is Captain America: First Avenger. Number 9, Spider-Man: Homecoming, which was tied with Ragnarok.
Fair.
But Ragnarok has 74 on Metacritic, and Spider-Man has 73.
Ooh, that one Metacritic point.
It was tough. 7, Iron Man. 6, Captain America: Civil War. 5, Avengers: Endgame. That's criminally low. 4, Infinity War, purely for the rhyme. 3, Winter Soldier. I'm sorry, George.
That's all right, I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't know how managed to sneak there.
Because it would be so high for you
sabotaged, yeah.
Number 2, The First Avengers. Avengers Assemble.
I'll take that.
And number 1, I Am Groot.
I don't speak Grootian.
Is that the
Guardians
official
of the Galaxy.
name?
And it was by quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all agreed it was like top 1 or 2.
Guardians is on 28 and then Avengers is on 21.
Jeez.
Oh, Winter Soldier and Infinity War were also tied. Winter Soldier has 70 on Metacritic and Infinity War has 68, which I was really surprised about.
Wow, I did not think that.
That's rough.
That is rough for Infinity War. Well, thank you very much for listening. We have to go, so there's going to be no impromptu questions for impromptu people or whatever we call it. Unprepared questions for unprepared people. Sorry, I forgot.
I like how we haven't even prepared the name properly.
We haven't. That's how unprepared it is. But thank you very much for listening. We hope you will join us next episode.
And we hope this audio actually finds you.
We hope this audio finds you. Pray for us. Thank you very much for listening.
I am Groot.
I'm Groot. Bye.